It began in a quiet convent in Poland, far from the noise of the world, but not beyond the reach of the divine. In 1931, a young nun named Faustina Kowalska knelt in her cell, overwhelmed by a presence she would never forget. She would later write in her diary, "In the evening, when I was in my cell, I saw the Lord Jesus clothed in a white garment, his right hand raised in blessing, his left hand touching his chest, from which flowed two large rays, one red, one pale." This would mark the beginning of one of the most powerful spiritual movements of the 20th century, the Divine Mercy devotion. But what most people don't know is the battle, the resistance, and the mystery that surrounded the creation of the image that now hangs in churches across the world. This is the untold story of Saint Faustina and the Divine Mercy painting. Faustina Kowalska had joined the congregation of the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy in Warsaw in 1925, taking the name Sister Maria Faustina. She was not particularly educated, nor known for any extraordinary talent, and yet she claimed that Jesus began appearing to her regularly, entrusting her with a mission, to remind the world of his infinite mercy. At the center of this mission was one peculiar request: a painting. Paint an image according to the pattern you see, with the signature, "Jesus, I trust in you." The request was clear, the instruction divine. But Sister Faustina had a problem. She wasn't a painter. She had no artistic skills and certainly no access to someone who could take such a vision and render it to canvas. Still, she obeyed. She documented every detail of her visions in a diary that would eventually span hundreds of pages. She recorded conversations with Jesus, divine promises attached to the image, and the internal struggles she faced, not only from within herself, but from those around her. It wasn't until 1934, in the city of Vilnius, now in Lithuania, that the first Divine Mercy image was finally painted. With the help of her spiritual director, Blessed Father Michał Sopoćko, Faustina met a professional artist named Eugeniusz Kazimierowski. Over the course of several months, she visited the artist's studio regularly, describing the image in detail. And yet, each time she saw the canvas, her heart sank. It wasn't right. The image didn't look like the Jesus she had seen. At one point, she wept. She wrote in her diary, "Not in the beauty of the color, nor of the brush lies the greatness of this image, but in my grace." The final version, while not perfect in Faustina's eyes, was accepted. It was displayed publicly for the first time during the celebration of the first Sunday after Easter in April 1935. But something else happened that weekend, something Faustina never could have planned. A crowd had gathered in Vilnius for a religious celebration. As the image was displayed over a balcony for all to see, a quiet sense of awe spread over the people. Some wept, others knelt. In her diary, Faustina noted that Jesus said, "I desire that this image be venerated throughout the world." And yet, what followed was not a spread of devotion, but resistance, suppression, and silence. For decades, the Divine Mercy image and Faustina's diary were locked away in obscurity. In fact, the Vatican initially placed her writings on the Index of Forbidden Books in 1959. Part of the confusion came from translation errors and theological misunderstandings. The image, so vital to the message, remained largely unknown outside of a few Polish communities. And then, something remarkable happened. A young Polish priest, Karol Wojtyla, who would later become Pope John Paul II, took a deep interest in Faustina's life. While serving in Krakow, he visited her tomb and studied her writings. He saw in them not only authenticity, but urgency. Mercy, he believed, was the answer to the brutality of the modern world, the wars, the genocide, the despair. When he became pope, he made it his mission to bring divine mercy to the center of the Catholic Church. In 2000, he canonized Faustina as the first saint of the new millennium. During the ceremony, he declared the second Sunday of Easter would henceforth be known as Divine Mercy Sunday for the entire Church. At that moment, the image that Faustina once thought wasn't good enough became universal. Today, the Divine Mercy painting exists in several variations. The original, painted under Faustina's direction, still hangs in Vilnius. But the most widely recognized version, the one with softer features and more intense rays, was created by Polish artist Adolf Hyla in the 1940s. Hyla painted it as a votive offering after surviving the horrors of World War II. It now hangs in the Shrine of Divine Mercy in Krakow, Poland, where millions make pilgrimages every year. But behind each brushstroke is a story that often goes untold. A story of obedience, suffering, and an unshakable trust in a mission that made little sense at the time. Faustina herself died in 1938, just 33 years old. She never lived to see the global spread of the devotion she gave her life to. She never heard the words spoken by a pope in St. Peter's Square calling her the great apostle of divine mercy. And yet, the image remains. The gaze of Christ, gentle and beckoning, inviting all to trust in his mercy. The red ray, symbolizing the blood of Christ. The pale ray, representing the water of baptism and the cleansing of the soul. These aren't just artistic details. They are the language of hope in a world that often feels hopeless. The story of the Divine Mercy image is not just a story about art, or mysticism, or sainthood. It's a reminder that behind every sacred image there is a struggle. That behind every devotion there is a human being who dared to believe when no one else did. So the next time you see that image, the one with Jesus stepping forward, hand raised in blessing, heart open, remember that it came from a humble nun who saw something the world couldn't yet see. She saw mercy flowing like rays of light for all who would ask for it. And she believed, even when no one else did.